Hi, everybody. I am Gabby Johnson, and today on the show Must Go On, I have a special guest called Ryan, and I'm going to let him introduce himself to you.
Great. Hey, thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it. So my name is Ryan Harbinson. I am the Director of Business Development with ClearBridge Branding Agency.
All right, Ryan, you do a lot of things over there at Clear Bridge. So give us a little bit more detail.
Yeah, sure. So we are kind of a different animal in these parts. Really a group of industry vets that have come together to kind of start something special. So, average experience for our team is about 22 years. Our VP of Digital is an expert writer for Forbes. Our creative director has been involved in rebrands with Cooper, Goldman Sachs, um, many others. And our VP of Operations has actually worked with Fortune 500 companies. So, we bring kind of a big city New York kind of feel to the middle of South Jersey with offices in Philadelphia and Chicago. And we really look at things from a three-part perspective. So branding creative is where we start, and then really target audience and what your message looks like, and then really our 25-point checklist, right? So TV, radio, video, SEO, social, web, whatever we can do to kind of help push your message out to the right audience. So
So, as you know, we are a video content platform for the local area. So, I'm very interested to see how you, in this time, on your area of TV show and content for video, how's this moment have impacted your relationship with your client or
mm,
even producing?
yeah, great question. I think first off, internet traffic is up like 300%. And because of that, more people are in front of machines and tablets and phones and and Roku's and smart TVs. So everybody's in front of everything now more than ever. And because of that, before the pandemic, video was already on fire, and now video is even more on fire. So content right now is really the key to it all. And one of the things I say all the time is, content is king and engagement is queen, right? So this is the great opportunity to really be producing content, getting your message out there, but at the same time, not really sitting there and doing the hard sell for people. People don't want to be hard sold at this point right now. Like, the name of the game is really first to mind, live in the feed. So how are you staying relevant? How are you letting people know that you're here, so that when they think of the services that you provide, that you're the first person that they think of, right? Or maybe what it is that you're selling, or the business that you have that's out there. I think part of it too is understanding that um, people overthink content, and some content is better than no content, right? And also understanding that there are people that are out there that are spending millions and millions of dollars that are creating content. The Rock and Oprah and Tony Robbins and all these people, right? And there's nothing wrong with sharing other people's content and making it kind of your own. It's just a way to stay relevant and stay on people's radar.
Talking about the challenges of content, what do you say to your clients when it comes to that? Because is there a formula about how much content, your
hmm
personal content, should you create, and how should you be distributing that content?
Yeah, that's great. So I would say a couple things. I think the first thing is that people need to realize that there's a difference between corporate content, right, and culture content. All right. So the corporate content is more of the overall message about who you are, the things that you offer, and what you're putting out for your audience, right? What services that you have available. The culture content is really always going to outshine the corporate content. All right. People want to know who you are, what your staff looks like, what your business is, how much fun it is to be in that area. And that content's always going to do better bringing in organic reaches, right? And again, this is the part where it doesn't matter what that content is. It's understanding that people want to get to know your business, right? People want to work with people that have similar culture in companies as well, right? So like, hey, I mean, obviously pre and post or pandemic or different content, but hey, we did a pop-up barbecue today and check it out, I made this. But now at the same time, maybe that's a thing where it's like you're celebrating anniversary still, even in the Zoom era, but still, it's this person's anniversary, or hey, we're really excited to be working, with these people, and did you know this is what they do, right? So like that's another thing, is like how are you utilizing the clients that you have, right, to then also grow your feed and your growth together better, but also then informing people that we work together because our culture is similar. And now you're putting yourself in front of all the eyeballs that that your other clients have, and vice versa. So it's all about understanding the difference between those, and then really finding out which platforms make sense for you. Yes, you can go on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. For me, it gets overwhelming, all the options and all the possibilities you can do, because you also have to realize that each one of those different platforms is a different audience and a different way of storytelling, right? And we talked about this before, right? It's like if I go to a restaurant and I know the people that own the restaurant, I'm telling a different story based on the platforms that I'm on. Okay, so if I'm on Facebook out with a bunch of people, I'm going to take a selfie with the table. Hey, we're having a great time. What's going on, everybody? Right? If I'm on Instagram, I'm going to probably take a picture of my plate of food and be like, greatest gnocchis I've ever had in my life. Right? If I'm on LinkedIn, I'll probably take a picture with the people that own the restaurant. So, same story, but different messaging based on the platforms and the audience that I'm trying to get in front of. And what I say is pick three, right? Three is manageable, because after that, it's just a lot. It depends on what you're trying to say and how you're trying to get on there. That is the difference. Like Twitter is all the time reacting, right? Twitter's more about the engagement factor, creating content, but more about being in the conversation, right? Facebook is more of the little bit half and half, and LinkedIn is more about the top of mind mentality.
So those are great example that you have shared with us. How do you basically carry your clients through picking and choosing what and how they should be sharing their content?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it really depends on the audience that they're trying to get in front of, right? For us, we've right now, with a lot of our clients, we've seen massive success on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is absolutely 100% on fire right now. LinkedIn is truly the only one that still allows us to really hyper focus on individuals and based on the criteria that our clients are trying to get in front of, right? Facebook was really good with this in the very beginning, but then Facebook started to get a little bit more lenient. And as people kind of took freedom on their profiles, it kind of changed the algorithms that were in our favor. Before, people were more honest about like what their positions were. So like if I've got a client that wants to go after CEOs, right, I can do that easily on LinkedIn based on greater Philadelphia area, greater Boston area, greater Chicago area, based in these different industries that are going in. But if I do that on Facebook nowadays, it's a little bit more difficult, just because somebody might be CEO at Cat Mom. So people are making up positions where it's at. So the strategy for Facebook is a little bit different. Facebook is more geared around uh, areas, locations, who they are, what their interests are on Facebook, that we can then go after those people and kind of get the message in front of them. With LinkedIn, we're able to kind of really hyper focus on the people that we're trying to get in front of. But we do a lot of success on TikTok with people as well too, and Instagram. It really depends really on who the audience is, what they look like, what the message we're trying to put in is there, and really what's the feedback we're trying to get from those people. Are we trying to do a call to action? Are we trying to get them to fill out a form? Are we trying to get links to the site? Are we pushing a product for them to hopefully, once they see it, they click and they buy? So it's really a different perspective based on the platforms and the messaging that we're trying to put out there.
Yes, and I totally agree with you, meaning I always say that, well, a friend of mine who is a Lincoln strategist always say, Facebook is your backyard barbecue place, as Lincoln is more of your professional face-to-face business. Now, let me know, Ryan, what is the direction do you see your company taking in the future based on what we are living right now?
Yeah, I think that we're just going to be continuing the strategy that we're in and kind of hyping it up to 500. Really, digital is really where we shine as a company, and with this, we've really been able to kind of unpack our talents, and I think we're just going to be continuing to push forward. Now, obviously, all the other mediums are still out there. We still can do billboards, and we can still do trade shows if that ever really comes back. But digital is really where it's at, and when we say digital, it's a lot more than just social media, right? So it's understanding that when people come to your website, we will then have ads that are then popping up based on your company. You know, we do a lot of SEO and search as well too. It's also understanding, how are you staying throughout the internet itself? It's way more than just Facebook. We can do like geo tracking as well too, where we can actually uh, do a certain area that is targeted for that. So like, um, it's surprising to know how many people actually always have their location on all the time. I am not one of those people. I turn my location off. But when that's how they kind of know when you go on and you look up Target in South Jersey and they have these times are the busiest. It's because they know how many people are in the store at all times. So we can run advertising based on those and then follow those people around with ads based on your company based in the areas that they're going to be. So if your client is a big Target shopper, then we can get everybody in that vicinity to kind of target those people. No pun intended.
That is so awesome. It's so much behind everything that we have absolutely no idea. It's great to just have a little bit of the tip of the iceberg.
It is the tip too. Data is really the king. I've been saying it a long time. Right now during this pandemic, accountability is the new currency. And we've seen that a lot with how people are adapting and what your culture looks like within the business in order to adapt during these times. But you know, data is is definitely what we offer and what is being utilized. I mean, the information and the amount of touch points that are available. And if you have not watched The Social Dilemma or have not watched The Great Hack, you are missing out on what is really going on in the background. Every time that you're on Instagram and you're sipping through stuff and you hold it for an extra 2 or 3 seconds, that's data that we're collecting. And now we know you like watches a little bit more than you like something else.
That is true. Great movie, by the way. Uh,
Little scary, but I
Scary.
think it's the social dilemma is kind of all the information that we are all aware of, but tend to be a little, you know, ignorance is bliss kind of mentality, and then you watch it and you're like, they're watching me all the time.
Are you working on a new project right now? And how can we contact you?
Is doing presentations for people in the background. So if you've got a large client that you're looking to, do a present to, you bring us in, and we're doing that for a lot of our clients, and we design the entire presentation for you, so that when you go into that meeting, it's on brand, it's on point, and you get to utilize the creativity and the expertise of our designers and our creative director to their full advantage. It's excellent. Follow me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm happy to be on the in the top 1% of all of LinkedIn. I've been on the platform for almost 13 years now. I sort of teaching courses on LinkedIn, so always looking to help if you are part of an organization or part of anybody that's looking for speakers. Love to do that. I've done a lot during the pandemic here too. You can also follow me on Instagram. My hashtag is wheresharb, HARB. And check me out there. Always posting stuff all the time. So
One last thing before we wrap it up, a positive words for the viewers.
don't overthink content. right? Stay on point, first to mind, live in the feed. And I'd say this is that it's easy to give. And we are in a world right now, especially in the business world, where if you can give and you can make introductions for people, it really is the key time to do that. You remember, if you build that alliance of a core group of people that have the same values and the same culture as you, we grow one, we grow all. That's really the name of the game.
That is the truth. Thank you so much, Ryan, to have participated to the show must go on. It was an honor and a real pleasure to have you today with us.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks so much.